your presentation on 8th. Okay?
Okay.
Let us wait some time, let 1 or 2 people come. Then we'll start the lecture. Divankar has come.
कृष्णा दिव्यांग जी is about to come, तो आप उनको एंट्री दे लेना, ठीक है, एज ए co-host.
Krishna have come. Divyang, I just admitted him.
अच्छा, you admitted. He is not appearing actually, so maybe he will try. Okay, now he is back.
Divyang has come, so let us start the class. Okay. So today we'll be doing a basic. What are the basic features of supply chain? Because I'm doing this because the case study of Dell, which I'll be doing, so you'll see how they manage this basic features to overcome whatever problems they were facing. Like it was doing quite well till 2006, but after that, like the rivals, they took over, so they had to again think over everything and start and make some changes. So first of all, let us understand what are the basic features of a supply chain which should be there to optimize the following features are the backbone of a supply chain management, and this leads to the fulfillment of the organizational goals. Actually, first of all, you have to, why do you need the supply chain? So that you get whatever is the organizational goal, you have to obtain that. Just 1 second, 1 second. So these are the 7 features which any supply chain should have. First is your integrated behavior. Because see, as I have told you over and over again, that this is a relay race. Here, all the partners, whether he's the supplier, manufacturer, distributor, everyone, retailer, have to work in as one to win this race. Then second is your mutual sharing of information. Third is your mutual sharing, channel risks and rewards. Whatever things you get, whether you have any difficulty or whether you are getting any reward, this also has to be shared by everyone, every partner. Then naturally, if you want to succeed, there should be cooperation. The partner should have the same goal and the same focus of serving customers, because their ultimate is to satisfy the customer, what the customer wants, to get, so that the customers get whatever they want in time, at the right quality, right price. All those things have to be maintained. The processes which are turning that raw material into finished goods, all these processes should be integrated. partners to build and maintain long-term relationship. It is not short-term. It is not only for once they are doing that. They have to maintain this relationship as long as their whatever they are buying, selling is going on. To be fully effective in today's competitive environment, firm must expand the integrated behavior to incorporate customers and suppliers. See, as I have told you, so you have supplier, which is going to manufacturer, which is going to warehouses, which is again going to retailers, and then the customers. And from customers, if they are not, it should come back to the manufacturer. So this is your supply chain. So all these have to be integrated together. The philosophy of supply chain management turns into the implementation of supply chain management, a set of activities that carries out the philosophy. This is the philosophy, that it has to be carried out from the supplier to the customer. So naturally, if they are not integrated, they are not working in unison, they will not be able to achieve the objective for which they are working. The set of activities is a coordinated effort called the supply chain management between the supply chain partners such as suppliers, carriers, and manufacturers to dynamically respond to the needs of the end customer. So first is your source, just like I have shown in this picture. So these are the 5 components of a supply chain, and if they are walking together, holding hands, like suppose if it is like they are wherever they are going together. Source, then your supply, then your manufacturer, then your distributor, then your customer. I have shown this figure to show that how friends, they are moving forward by holding hands. So this is the way a supply chain should work. They are integrated together. They are holding hands. All the members of the supply chain are working together. Source, supplier, manufacturer, distributor, and sell to the customer. Then they are mutually sharing information. Whatever is just like a human body, like we have so many organs in a body, but they are to make, what is the purpose? What is the goal? The goal is to maintain the human body. So if the information does not pass from one organ to other, like it is not being done consciously. Unconsciously, it is going on. Through semi-permeable membrane, they are not watertight compartments. They are being separated by semi-permeable membrane, and information from one organ to, if something goes wrong in one organ, it will affect the whole body. Related to integrated behavior, mutually sharing information among supply members is required to implement a supply chain philosophy, especially for planning and monitoring processes. Continuous information updating among the chain members for effective supply chain management is a must. Information sharing is the willingness to make strategic and tactical data available to other members of the supply chain. Like, suppose you are the manufacturer, and if you don't get the information from the supplier when the things are reaching you, what decision will you take? The decision depends upon the information which you receive. Accordingly, you will start doing the work. So the information has to pass from one member to the other member. Open sharing of information such as inventory levels, forecasts, sales promotion strategies, and marketing strategies reduces the uncertainty between supply partners and results in enhanced performance. See, mutually sharing information. All the 5 members are joining hand. They are sharing the information. Then mutually sharing risk and rewards. Whatever rewards they're gaining, that has also to be shared by all the partners of the supply chain. Whatever risks are there, that also has to be shared by all the partners of the effective supply chain management. Also requires mutually sharing risks and rewards that yield a competitive advantage. Risk and reward sharing should happen over the long term. Risk and reward sharing is important for a long-term focus and cooperation among the supply chain members. See over here, sharing risks and rewards. So rewards also, everyone is on the first position. Nobody is less, nobody is more. If all the members don't put their heart and soul in the supply chain, the rewards or the outcome will not be what the organization is desiring. Then there has to be cooperation among the supply chain members. Cooperation among the supply chain members is required for effective supply chain cooperation, refers to similar or complementary coordinated activities performed by firm in a business relationship to produce superior mutual outcomes or singular outcomes that are mutually expected over time. So all these features are talking towards the same goal. They are talking about cooperation. They are talking about sharing of information. They are talking about integration. So all these things will only lead to a successful supply chain. Cooperation is not limited to the needs of the current transaction and happens at several management levels, both top and operational managers. Example, both top and operational. Top means the strategic level, the tactical level, and the operational level. Everywhere cooperation is required, involving cross-functional coordination across the supply chain management. Joint action in close relationship refers to carrying out the focal activities in a cooperative or coordinated way. Cooperation starts with joint planning and ends with joint control activities to evaluate performance of the supply chain members as well as the supply chain as a whole. Joint planning and evaluation involves ongoing processes over multiple years. In addition to planning and control, cooperation is needed to reduce supply chain inventories and pursue supply chain cost efficiency. Like everybody should know what the other is doing, what is the level of inventory over there, because that only is passing on to the next member of the supply chain. And if in that way the inventory levels can be kept at the optimum level, nothing is more than what is needed and nothing is much less than what is needed. Supply chain members should work together on new product development and product portfolio decisions. Design of quality control and delivery system is also a joint action. So if they are planning, they should be talking things over, planning together, what they need, how much they need, what cost they'll be selling it to the customers. So all these things has to be open. They should know, each member of the supply chain should know how things are moving in the whole supply chain. So this is cooperation. The same goal and the same focus on serving. What is that? The focus should be how they should serve the customer in the best possible way. A supply chain success if all the members of the supply chain have the same goal and the same focus on serving customers. Establishing the same goal and the same focus among supply chain members is a form of policy integration. But actually, the same policy, everyone in the supply chain, whether he or she is a supplier or a manufacturer or the distributor or the retailer, it should be the same policy should be carried on. Successful relationship aim to integrate supply chain policy to avoid redundancy and overlap, while seeking a level of cooperation that allows participants to be more effective at lower cost level. Policy integration is possible if there are compatible cultures and management techniques among the supply chain members. Because today we are talking about global supply chain. So over here, there are so many people from different culture. So there has to be, just like when you are working with a computer system, when so there are portfolios, when it is, see your message from telephone to from one mode of transmission to another mode of transmission, then again being converted back. So everything has to be integrated together, then only the information will fit. So even in a supply chain, it should be in such a way that you should be understanding what the other wants. So even if you come from different cultural background, you have to work towards the same goal, understand each other, and should realize what is the ultimate objective of the organization. So over here, I have shown you so here again, from everyone is focused towards this goal. All the members of the supply chain are focused towards this goal. It is not the work of only one, only the manufacturer. That will not do. Everyone has to focus on the same goal. The implementation of supply chain needs the integration of processes from sourcing to manufacturing and to distribution across the supply chain. Integration can be accomplished through cross-functional teams, in-plant supplier personnel, and third-party service providers. Like when we were talking about logistics, they are the third-party service provider. But the implementation of the process has to be understood even by them. If the logistics goes wrong, if the third party goes wrong, your goal will be affected. The planning and operational implication in the 4 stages of supply chain integration is discussed below. Stage 1 represents the basis line case. The supply chain is a function of fragmented operations within the individual company and is characterized by stage inventories, independent and incompatible control systems, and produce and functional segregation. Stage 2 begins to focus internal integration, characterized by an emphasis on cost reduction rather than performance improvement, buffer inventory, initial evaluations of internal trade-offs, and reactive customer service. Stage 3 reaches towards internal corporate integration and characterized by full visibility of purchasing through distribution, medium-term planning, tactical rather than strategic focus, emphasis on efficiency, extended use of electronic support for linkages, and a continued reactive approach to customers. You should always be focused toward the customer, what the customer wants, what changes they want, whatever is the requirement of the customer. Because as you must have heard this phrase, customer is the king or queen. Stage 4 achieves supply chain integration by extending the scope of integration outside the company to embrace suppliers and customers. So it is an integrated process. This is the, I have donated by this, how this symbol has been integrated together in the same way all the processes of the supply chain is also integrated together. And partners to build and maintain long-term relationship. It is not for one term. If once you're doing it and then you can forget about that supplier or that manufacturer and move to somewhere else. It is a long-term relationship. That is very important. Effective supply chain management is made up of a series of partnerships, and thus SCM requires partners to build and maintain long-term relationship. The relationship time horizon extends beyond the life of the contract, perhaps indefinitely. And at the same time, the number of partners should be small to facilitate increased cooperation. Don't make it very complex. Initially, at least, don't make it very complex. Make it small and simple so that you work in a smooth integration. So it is partners to build a long-term, this is suppliers. There has to be openness, there has to be a transparency so that so these are the basic features of a supply chain which any company is working, it should look on it. So how else we'll see how when Dell was facing problems, how they reinvented their supply chain.
Madam, once the first slide, please show this first slide, madam.
First slide. Okay, okay.
हाँ, इसके बाद का नहीं, लिस्ट ऑफ द फीचर्स थे ना. हाँ, करेक्ट.
So these here the 7 features of a supply chain: integrated behavior, mutually sharing information, mutually sharing channel risks and rewards, cooperation.
Same goal and same focus.
The partner should have the same goal and the same focus of serving
Serving
customers,
customers.
integration of processes, and long-term relationship.
Okay, madam.
Okay.
Okay.
So today we'll be doing this case study of Dell computers. All of you are familiar with Dell computers. So they go for direct model. They sell directly to the customers. The focus of this case study is the supply chain management practices of Dell. Dell has been following its unique direct-to-build order sales model for more than 20 years. Customers can plan their own configuration and place orders directly with the company via the phone or its website. The US-based Dell company, one of the leading PC manufacturers in the world, pioneered a unique model in selling PCs directly to the consumer bypassing the resellers. The model is properly known as the direct model. It was started by Michael Dell. At that time, he was only 19 years in his dorm room of the University of Texas in 1984 with $1,000. Company's headquarters, Round Rock, Texas, USA. The challenge, what was the challenge which forced them to reinvent their supply chain? In 2006, however, Dell faced several problems. Many customers complained about long delays in supplies. Recall of Sony battery cells in its laptops brought it undesirable media hype to the company. Increasing discontent of customers led to a slowdown in sales. Consequently, Dell lost its market leadership to HP company. Reason, as the experts said at that time, why this was happening. Lack of new product, poor customer service, increasing support cost, lack of retail presence, the limitations of direct model. So these were the reasons why it was facing problems. What the industry experts pointed out. Initially, this direct selling was its strength, but with time it lost its sheen. As the competitors gained better supply chain efficiency and opted for a mixed sales model. Also, due to the growth of innovative technologies and changes in the computer industry, the customers changed their needs. Customization was no longer crucial for them. So its old supply chain was made to order, Dell's old supply chain. Using the direct model, Dell provided consumers with tailor-made products built only after procuring the order from them. So this way, the wastage was less. This is from. Then in the process, it was able to reduce inventory costs and overheads, and it didn't need any intermediaries. Through this model, Dell was able to provide its customers the latest available technologies, performance, and superior value of competitive price. See, they could provide latest available technology, but they did not exactly understand what the customers, because the customers were not of one type. There were individual customers. There must have been customers from industry and things like that. So that thing they were not understanding. What is the process? Old Dell supply chain worked as follows. After a customer places an order either by phone or through the internet on Dell, www.dell.com, Dell processes the order through financial evaluation and configuration evaluation, which takes 2 to 3 days. After evaluation, it is sent to one of its manufacturing plants. These plants could build, test, and package the products in about 8 hours. The general rule for production is first in, first out, which is also known as FIFO. First in, first out. Last in, first out, the LIFO. And Dell typically plan to ship all orders no matter not later than 5 days after receipt. Now, they were following this process, but then they found that they are lagging behind in sale. So they reinvented their whole supply chain. The company reinvented its supply chain and shifted to segmented model that targets several groups of customers with different needs and buying capacity. So initially they were treating all the customers as same, but then they realized that this is not working. Every customer has his or her own needs and depends upon for whom it is being supplied, whether to individual or to industry or for some special purpose. All those things mattered a lot. So they reinvented the supply chain and shifted to segmented model that targets several groups of customers with different needs and buying capacity. The company realized the core of brand success in its earlier year was its relationship with customers and ability to hear their needs, and reinvention of their supply chain was focused mostly on customer relationship. So initially they were focusing a lot on their relationship with the customers, which they in between they had lost it to some time. So again they realized this and started focusing on their relationship with the customers. To restructure its supply chain, the company implemented the following solutions. Global structure instead of regional structure, with 3 business units: enterprise, public, and consumer. Consumer, a small business. So they restructured it into 3, as in the beginning only I have said, they had segmented model now. So these are the segments: enterprise, public, and consumer. Standardized offers including the most frequently purchased configuration. What was the most frequently? That standard was being used now. Segmented model instead of one size fits all model. Infrastructure that correspond to changing needs of the business. So, because business is dynamic, with time the needs are changing. So they have to focus to that and get tuned to that. And according to the needs of the business, the infrastructure should be attuned. Standard yet flexible processes that leverage global enterprise, because now they are, instead of regional, they are now focusing on the global supply chain. So they have to standard to take, but at the same time it has to be flexible also, because it will be varying according to the needs of different customers. Customer priorities align according to speed, choice, and cost. तो किसी को स्पीड ज्यादा जरूरत है, किसी को दूसरा कुछ और फीचर्स है, तो यू हैव टू अलाइन योर market according to these things: speed, choice, and cost. Ready-made in-stock system for quick delivery. So it is something like a like you have in a restaurant also, they keep some things ready, and with some things are kept ready, which are the core things, so that when an order comes, it is easily and according to the requirement of the customer, it is aligned. Optimization of global IT infrastructure. So demand and supply. So Dell maintained a database. See, this is very important. Dell maintained a database to track the purchasing patterns of corporate customers and their budget cycles. So accordingly, they could know what would be their demand and what type of demand, what are the features that they are looking for. Dell maintained a database to track the purchasing patterns of corporate customers and their budget cycles in order to forecast demand. It also maintained a similar database for individual customers in order to cater to their future requirements for PCs. As I told you, they had segmented their market now in 3 groups. So they kept a database for all these 3 groups. Through forecasting techniques, Dell was able to forecast demand with 75% accuracy. Thrice a day, the changing demand pattern were communicated to the major suppliers. See, cooperation. This is cooperation. They, whatever was the deal they communicated to the major suppliers. Their inventory management. Dell has a long-term relationship with suppliers that help the brand streamline their inventory management as well. So they maintain a very good relationship there with this with the suppliers. It is a long term. As I have told, one of the features is you have to have long-term relationship with the partners. And this helps them in streamlining their inventory. The company considers its vendors to be an integral part of its success. So, as I told you, the focus should be the risk, and the awards should be shared by everyone. Only if you see that the partners are a part of the whole operation. The key objective of all Dell's inventory management is to minimize the inventory and optimize the production speed. As a result, the company does hold inventory for more than 6 days and avoids unnecessary, does not hold inventory for more than 6 days. And naturally, this way they can reduce unnecessary costs. The retail giant has got suppliers from all over the world, including major companies as Motorola, Samsung, Sony, and more. All of them supply the components according to set of rules provided by the Dell. It is not that it is on their whims and fancy. The Dell provides them rules, and according to that, they are supplying the material. For example, strongly advise that each supplier have manufacturing plant near Dell's plant. So, as you know, in US, your child's school should not be more than 3 kilometers away from your house. Suppose if you want to change the child's school, you have to change your house. Not like in India. We have children getting up early in the morning at 4 or 5 and catching a bus and then going for miles to a school. Over there, they see to it that the child is not harassed, because it is a big burden on the child. So over that same philosophy over was here, that the supplier's manufacturing plant should be near Dell's plant. And then Dell also has plant all over the world. The supplier should also cooperate with logistic companies that can both deliver the component and ship the customer order. So logistic companies involved with Dell's operation should also be a companion, should also be a part of the supply chain. And the supplier should also understand this. Finally, the company manages its inventory based with VMI model, meaning its supplied components are kept on the truck only and taken as needed, while the vendor manages the inventory. And Dell and its suppliers communicate with each other via internal website called value chain. So that constant communication among the partners of the supply chain is there. As this website, the companies can access information about inventory status within the supply chain, as well as get demand and production data. What was the outcome? Dell has been a successful player in the computer hardware market since the very beginning because of its supply chain strategies. Despite the hard times in the early 2000s, it is 2000 or 200, its customer-centric helped remain afloat. Because of its customer-centric approach, it has remained at the forefront of this industry. In 2010, the retail reinvented its supply chain according to the changing needs of the target audience. That just shows that renewing and improving one's supply chain strategy continuously can go a long way. So you have to, see, we are living in such a dynamic atmosphere that we cannot be static. What we have, maybe what is good for today may not be good, because your customers are also trying to improve themselves. So you have to keep yourself at the same level. If you want to, you have to keep on renewing and improving yourself. Supply chain integrates all these features such as manufacturers, supplier, transport, wholesalers, retailers, customers, and other elements which link the above. its main objective is to fulfill customer demands by adding value to the products and services. So keeping the relationship, even the after sales service, they are also giving that. So these things have helped them in renewing and improving their supply chain. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
So
No,
it is
ma'am.
not that if you are great at this particular time, you'll always be there. You have to keep on improving yourself, renewing yourself. And that means constant being tuned to what is going on in the external environment. So don't keep on reading, keep on seeing how things are moving along, because today you are young, you want to rise high in your life. So these things will help you. Because after all, everyone, there's some objectives in everyone's life, and we want to achieve that and do better and better in life. So should we now meet on 8th for the test?
Yes, madam.
All of you are
You
ready?
have, you have given me a very hard topic.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
I've given hard topic to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Forecasting is no issue,
All the
but
PPTs.
its methods are to be very critical, Excel and all. I will manage it.
Rang, I have just given you 2 forecasting technique. One is simple linear
Correct.
regression, and another is multiple linear regression, not non-linear regression.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
have to gather data from somewhere.
I will.
Show it on the graph.
Yes,
What
madam.
will be the outcome?
Sure.
Then I think I have given Krishna something about the ethics and the environment.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Anka, I don't know what I have given you. I just don't remember just now.
Logistics, ma'am.
Logistics. Logistics.
Yeah.
And also you can, whatever material I have given you, plus you can get it from the net or some books also on logistics.
Sure, ma'am. Okay.
And Tithi,
It's layout management.
pardon?
Location and layout management.
That is very easy.
Yes,
that you
ma'am.
can get from any book on operations management.
Yeah, I totally agree, ma'am. I totally
So it is not very difficult. And then we'll ask you some questions.
Yes, sure, ma'am. Looking
See,
forward to it, ma'am.
Now, even you have to face people in your organization.
Right.
Because once you have done this course, they will also expect better result from you. And they should,
Right, ma'am.
they will also like to know how much you know.
Exactly, ma'am.
So all the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
मैम कितने बजे क्लास होगा अगले 1 तारीख को?
Okay, goodbye.
Ma'am, the class will be at 6:30, ma'am, on 8.
6:30.
Same
Okay,
time.
Sure.
6:30 at 8.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you, ma'am. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Madam, please send this PPT, madam.
I'll send the PPTs to you.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
send the PPTs.
Thank you.